So imagine if Allen Iverson, Floyd Mayweather, all these guys came from a different culture. Let's say they came from a culture like, I don't know, I remember Floyd Mayweather fought this guy named Manny Pacquiao. If you remember, Manny Pacquiao had a different culture. Manny Pacquiao's culture said, when you go out and you become wealthy, you're supposed to take care of not just yourself, you take care of the whole hood. Do anybody remember Manny Pacquiao? How many of y'all remember that? Any boxing fans in here? Let me know if you know that name, Manny Pacquiao. So if you recall, when Manny Pacquiao got a bunch of money, the main thing he did with his money was he took care of his whole village or something. Like he gave houses to everybody. It was something crazy like that, and that's a manifestation of the culture. Whereas at the same time, Floyd Mayweather was doing the whole money Mayweather stuff, showing off jewels and chains and $10,000 Gucci bags and stuff like that, because that was his culture. Or imagine if Iverson or Mayweather came from a culture of extreme discipline. Let's say that Allen Iverson was a Mormon, and I don't think Mormons drink and stuff like that. So imagine if he came from a culture. Iverson mentioned he had a drinking problem. So imagine if he came from a culture where a man shows his masculinity by how disciplined he is. He shows masculinity by not drinking, not smoking, not using drugs, not going to excesses when it comes to women, being economically intelligent, doing like the Mormons do. I don't know if you know the story about the Mormons. The Mormons were in the cover of the Wall Street Journal at one point, and the reason they were on the cover of the Wall Street Journal is because they found out that the Mormons secretly had like $100 billion, like that they didn't tell anybody about. It was something like that. Like they didn't go. They didn't say, "Hey y'all, player, player, I got 100 billion over here." Right? They didn't do all that. They wasn't flashy. They wasn't doing like, "Look at my watch, y'all. You ain't got 100 billion. Let me show you my cash out." Right? They didn't do that. No, they literally had $100 billion, and I think that it was a big deal because nobody knew they had so much freaking money. I don't think they were necessarily hiding it per se, but it was something where they didn't really exactly announce it. They just had a whole bunch of cash, and people were like, "Oh my God, how did these people get all this money?" That's a lot of economic power. And if you know the history of Salt Lake City and the Mormons, they started with nothing. And Brigham Young literally gathered a bunch. They were being persecuted, and he gathered a whole bunch of Mormons, like 250 families, and they all got in their little covered wagons, and they all went west together to go find the Great Salt Lake. They were looking for the Great Salt Lake. And on the way there, like a third of them died, got killed by Native Americans, stuff like that. But the ones that made it got there. And when they got there, there were no jobs.